And welcome to a very special presentation of the very best in high school athletics in the state of South Dakota, your St. Thomas More Cavaliers, where tonight we are thrilled to bring you the boys Class A Sodak 16 clash between the number 7 seed Lennox Orioles from the Dakota 12 Conference and your St. Thomas More Cavaliers, the number 10 seed, coming in at 16-5 as Black Hills Conference champions 2025-2026. Well, with Senior Technical Director Braden Strain and camera operator Regan Dewar, we are thrilled to be with you high above the floor here at Winter High School, and we are expecting nothing less than a 4-quarter basketball game between two teams that on paper appear to be very close, and based on the fact these teams have already played one another back on January the 24th when the Cavaliers dropped a 51-49 decision to the Lennox Orioles and Mitchell, we know we are in for a tremendous game. Well, we're happy to have you along with us wherever you may be tuning in. We have some very exciting enhancements to our network. We have a roadcaster board. We have another additional camera. We have tremendously awesome instant replay capabilities. And all of this comes from some of our most wonderful St. Thomas More community members that have stepped up and contributed to make this happen. And none of this would be possible without our amazing technical director, Braden Strain, who is producing tonight his final basketball broadcast. And I'm told we're going to press a button. Go ahead. There we go. We even have sound effects to throw into the mix. We are just happy as can be to bring you this broadcast with enhancements, including instant replay, that we've never had before. So there's a lot to celebrate, and let's celebrate this. This is the first time in 3 years St. Thomas More has played in a Sodak 16 in boys basketball action. The last time the Cavaliers were in the Sodak 16, they played very close to home, just down the street, in fact, at Nas Gymnasium at Rapid City Central, when St. Thomas More defeated McIntosh in a 3-14 game, and that was Caleb Hollenbeck's senior year. And, well, it's been a couple years. It's been a minute, as they say. That the Cavs are back in the Sodak 16, going 10-0 in the Black Hills Conference, rolling to a pair of victories. We're rolling to a victory Thursday night over Lee Deadwood after getting a first-round bye. And the Cavaliers are now in the Sodak 16 against a very tough East River opponent, the Lennox Orioles. They are a tremendous basketball team. They have played a rigorous schedule. In fact, they have gone up against all 5 of the top 5 seeded teams in tonight's Sodak 16. And even though they were unable to defeat any of those 5 teams in the top 5 of the Sodak 16, they nonetheless went up against them, and that accounts for most of their blemishes on the season. Their only other loss was outside of the state in the Corn Palace early in the season to Jonesboro, Arkansas. For Lennox, this is a battle-tested Dakota 12 opponent. They are ready to go. And the thing about this Sodak 16 meeting between Lennox and St. Thomas More tonight, which may very well qualify this game as the top game in all of Class A or Class B in the great state of South Dakota this evening, is that most people would agree that Lennox and St. Thomas More are two teams that definitely qualify as two members of the top 8 teams in boys Class A basketball. Well, where things stand is this: only one of these teams can go to the Sodak 16 or go to the state tournament. which will be played at the Monument at Summit Arena in Rapid City starting next Thursday. And that's going to be the winner of this game. The loser of this game will see their season come one game shy of a trip to that promised land in high school basketball. Doesn't matter what state you call home, there's nothing like making it to state. And that's what's on the line tonight. Coach Tony Young and his veteran, talented senior team, dominated team, they are ready to battle. It's really going to be fun to break into this matchup, discuss things as we move along in our Security First Bank pregame show presentation. Let's go ahead here and take a moment and say thank you to our sponsor, Security First Bank. It is a big night of basketball with another big Cavaliers game. Security First Bank is proud to sponsor this big game tonight and cheer on the Cavaliers tonight and all season long. Here's to a great game and Cavalier pride. Security First Bank, member FDIC. Basketball fundamentals, they win games and championships, and they help you get to state. And smart money habits win in life. Security First Bank offers free Bonsai financial education to help students and families build strong financial foundations. Security First Bank, member FDIC. Well, with Technical Director Braden Strain, and camera operator Regan Dewar, we're happy to be with you tonight. And I don't know if Braden Strain's ready to come on and chat about some of our new equipment, but let's see if we can get Braden on here. We are going to get Braden on. Braden, you have been a part of this network for over half of its existence now, and you've had this wish list. A lot of fans have wanted certain enhancements. Well, this has to be a kind of a dream come true tonight, even if you didn't get any chance to test a lot of things out.
Yeah, so tonight we're basically just have replay. That's going to be our main main upgrade. We got the soundboard. We got we got like a new box. From the Spearfish broadcast. They helped us
great.
buy all this. Or not help us buy it, but like
figure out what equipment you wanted.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and that's the KDSJ TV folks with Riverfront Broadcasting, who I work with every day. Go ahead, Braden.
What else do you want me to say? We got a mic camera now, and then we got an ultra wide, which is the same camera, just in a different spot.
Wow.
And actually during basketball next year, and maybe volleyball, but those will be our backboard cameras.
Oh, wow.
So we'll have those set up behind the backboard and all that.
You know, and I was asking Coach about that. He said he says, I'm not 100% sure we're going to have anybody who can dunk next year, but we'll have the camera.
Yeah, for free throws too. That's what they mostly use.
Oh, yeah, the free throws.
For SDPB, that's what we do, is use backboard cameras for free throws and all that. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, I am forever grateful, and I know a lot of fans are too, not only for your knowledge and expertise, but really your passion for the technical side of putting a broadcast together. It is, we're kind of at an amazing point in time. Many of the things that we're able to put together in a broadcast through streaming on the Security First Bank Cavalier Sports Network, none of this was even possible when you were a little kid. I mean, this has all just happened so fast.
All recent, too.
It's all recent. And then, you know, you could order things on Amazon or whatever, and bada boom, you've got the boxes. Did it feel like you were opening gifts on Christmas morning, Braden, when you got these shipments in?
Yeah, we actually got them in yesterday. The audio board came in around 12 o'clock, and everything else came in around 4. And I basically worked on it all last night until about midnight, and I went to bed, got about 5 or 6 hours of sleep. Woke up this morning and put it on, or I worked on it during A period and C period, and then this is all it is right now. So just apologies if anything happens with like the replay and stuff. It's our first time using it. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's no apologies needed. Everyone's just so grateful, so appreciative. And big hats off to Dr. Julie Tipton, our superintendent, Tracy Stamper, Sabrina Roush, everybody in the development office, our good friend Robert Satter, so many people who did so many things to bring this moment to a point of fruition. And again, our donors, you know who you are. You and I and Braden, we signed thank you notes last week for our first set of donors. I just went ahead without your signatures and got all the other thank you notes in the mail. But boy, I tell you what, it has been truly special to see the overwhelming support and generosity for our network. Well, Braden, I'm going to kind of get everybody ready for the opening tip now, but thanks for coming on.
Problem.
Thanks for all you have done.
Thanks for taking me in 8th grade year to have you do all this stuff.
Oh, it's been awesome. It's gone fast.
All from that one game. What was that game where I shouldered a camera for an entire hour?
Oh, I know when that was. That was in Pierre.
Yeah.
And that was a Sodak 16
it,
game, and that was, if I remember right, that was a win over Vermilion on the way to winning the state championship. And that all happened because I got there late because we had ice that night.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to wind up in a ditch between Rapid City and Pierre on Highway 34. That's what I remember.
Yeah. Anyway, well, thanks for having me.
You bet.
And I'll be over here if you need me.
All right. Thanks so much. That's Braden Strain making a special cameo appearance for High Above the Floor. We're moments away. Let's zero in on the Cavs as they come onto the floor, going through our amazing cheer team. And there's a lot on the line for our cheer team, ladies and gentlemen, because head coach Tracy Stamper, assistant coach Mrs. Nas, they want these Lady Cavalier cheerleaders to compete for a Spirit of Six award. Well, you can only win the Spirit of Six award if your team makes it to the state basketball tournament in Rapid City, and that's what the Cavs are trying to do tonight. Cavs coming in 16-5, Lennox 17-5. This is what it's all about. Two teams more than 10 games over 500, battling for a trip to state. And here come the Lennox Orioles on the floor. A lot of fans have traveled from just south of Sioux Falls to cheer on the orange and black and white of Lennox, the higher seed tonight, the number 7 seed here in the boys Class A, 7 versus 10. Seeded matchup, and here come the Black Hills Conference champions. The Cavaliers are in the house here in winter, and there we go. Buzzy Gilton, Max Speed, and there's Broden Sales and Ryan Negebauer just going up with their opening layups here, and we are ready to roll. Coach Tony Young and the outstanding staff of Craig Bloom, Scott Donnelly, Mitch Lusarski, and Bill Whitney, they are ready to go tonight. And this Cavaliers team, a major point of emphasis is the start to this game. And I'll tell you why, for a couple of reasons. Number one, when these two teams met at the Corn Palace back on January the 24th, what happened was the Orioles got a really big lead. In fact, they got a 14 or 15 point lead in that game. St. Thomas More fought their way back, only lost 51-49, but the damage was done. You just don't want to fall behind an opponent to the caliber of Lennox by double figures early in the game. You can't afford to do that. The other reason why the Cavaliers really want to start strong in this game and why they consider it a key is, quite candidly, the Cavaliers want to just create a lot of energy, create a lot of momentum, and one of the real points of emphasis tonight is to make sure that the Cavaliers understand that this is not just another game. It's not another game. This is it. This is what this entire season has been building towards, to play for an opportunity to go to our hometown, Rapid City, the city of presidents, and play for it all next week. This has all come down to one game tonight in winter. We've got a great crowd on hand. Lennox has brought a lot of folks from the Sioux Falls area. And Lennox, if you are familiar, kind of on that suburban sprawl edge, not far from T. A lot of people moving into Lennox. I think if you drive by Lennox, you see a billboard that says you'd be home now if you lived in Lennox, that kind of thing, along I-29 south of Sioux Falls. And for St. Thomas More, well, the Cavs fans, there's no better fans anywhere. We know that. You guys all know that. You are Cavs fans. Great crowd on hand tonight making the trip. We know that we're dealing with the specter of anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of snow and a winter weather advisory back home. And please be safe if you're back home, and hopefully you're somewhere warm tonight and you are in a secure place watching the broadcast. And whatever you do, don't watch the broadcast while you're driving through snow. We know it's a big game, but we want you safe. We're happy you're with us. Mike Fell, Regan Dewar, Braden Strain. We're getting closer and closer to opening tip. Let's take a moment, recognize some more of our great sponsors. How about Collins Siding for over 50 years? Wow, that's a long time. Collins Siding has been the trusted name in the Black Hills, serving homeowners with top quality products and installation. Whether you live in the heart of the city or the quiet beauty and serenity of the hills, Collins Siding has you covered, offering brand name windows, doors, and siding for your home improvement needs. At Collins Siding, they believe in giving back. That's why Collins Siding offers special discounts for veterans and seniors, because they know that you have earned it, and they are truly grateful for your service. Call Collins Siding today at 605-348-5728 or visit collinssiding.com. We also want to say thank you to Strain Chiropractic. Strain Chiropractic, they truly treat every patient like family. They take the time to listen, they provide personalized care, and they make referrals when it's in your best interest. Their team offers high-quality chiropractic services that go far beyond a quick adjustment. At Strain Chiropractic, they focus on thoughtful, comprehensive care that supports your overall well-being. As one of the largest chiropractic clinics in the area and the 2024 Best of the Black Hills Award winner, Strain Chiropractic is honored to serve our community with excellence and compassion. And we thank Dr. Sarah Strain and everyone at Strain Chiropractic for their support. Well, the coaching staff is coming onto the floor right now. See if we can get a good close-up there. We've got our activities director, Ryan Messick, in the house, so longtime coach himself. And this is it. I mean, you go all the way back to Gillette, Wyoming. You look back on the border ball trip down to Scottsbluff, Nebraska right before Christmas. The Cavaliers have challenged themselves. If you believe what I believe, which is the Bible is the holy word and the truth, you know it says in the Bible that iron sharpens iron. Well, these Cavaliers have sharpened one another. They are bound together with a sense of camaraderie, unity, love, and faith. And they represent the very finest ideals in our institution, our Catholic institution here at St. Thomas More High School. And this team is ready to take a big step tonight, a step that would bring the Cavaliers in front of thousands, I mean thousands and thousands of Rapid City hometown fans that love St. Thomas More basketball. And standing in their way is an excellent Lennox team that's lost only 5 games all year. And the Lennox Orioles have won. They are on a roll, folks. They have won 11 consecutive games coming into tonight's Sodak 16 7 versus 10 seed clash this evening. Let's take a moment, set the stage for our Sodak 16 matchup. Now, the number 1 seed in the boys Class A Sodak 16 is West Central, 21-0, coached by our dear friend, our good friend, the legendary Coach Dave Hollenbeck. West Central in Madison tonight. They will be taking on 16 seed Webster area. The number 2 seed is Sioux Falls Christian, whose only loss this year was to West Central. They will be taking on Wagner in Madison in the early game in that 1 and 2 seeded pair of games in Madison. In Watertown tonight, number 3 seed Clark Willow Lake, 19-2, taking on 14 seed McCook Central Montrose. Rapid City Christian Comets, they have made it to the Sodak 16 again this year under the outstanding head coach Kyle Courtney. Rapid City Christian, the 13 seed. They're playing up the road tonight from where we are in Hamlin against Hamlin. The 19-3 Chargers are in Chamberlain in that state-of-the-art gym where we were about a week ago when the Lady Cavs were playing in the Sodak 16 in a game we had for you about a week ago. So the Comets 14-8 taking on Hamlin 19-3. That game just to the north of us in Chamberlain tonight. The 5 seed in the Sodak 16 this season is Groton Area Tigers. They are also in Chamberlain. They're battling the Pine Ridge Thorpes this evening. That game just about to tip off. Number 6 seed Stanley County. They're taking on Flandreau, and that matchup is taking place over in Miller, not too far from Huron, South Dakota. And then the other game happening in the Sodak 16, in addition to our Lennox versus St. Thomas More game, it's Makpialuta, the 8 seed, playing in Sturgis at Sturgis Brown High School against number 9 seed Cheyenne Eagle Butte. So the stage is set. We'll see how everything shakes out. And yes, in case you're wondering, if we don't see any upsets in any of these other games tonight, which would kind of be an upset in and of itself if you think about it, we could have a St. Thomas More versus West Central reunion with our good friend Dave Hollenbeck in the opening round of the state basketball tournament in the opening game at the Monument next Thursday afternoon. We'll have to see how everything plays out tonight. But if the high seeds all win and the Cavs, the 10 seed, technically pull an upset here against Lennox, well, that would put the Cavaliers in position to be the number 8 seed in the state tournament. And of course, West Central and Hartford, under the direction of Coach Dave Hollenbeck, they have nailed down the 1 seed overall, rolling towards the state tournament. Well, we're so happy to have you with us. The environment is electric here. I want to give a special thank you to Brian Nas. Brian Nas, the activities director at Winter High School. He's good friends with one of my best friends, and that would be Steve Ammerman, the voice of the RMAC champion Black Hills State Yellow Jackets. And Steve Ammerman lived here in Winter and used to broadcast the games for, I think, not only Winter, but a lot of the surrounding schools like Platt and Geddes and some of the other community schools in the area through a good part of the first half of the first chapter anyway of Steve Ammerman's career. And special hello to Steve if you're watching. We know how much Winter, South Dakota, and this great part of South Central West River, South Dakota means to you. Well, this is a great environment, and yes, it does feel great to come back to Winter as football state champs. I've got to tell you, I've been beaming for the last hour or so since arriving. If those of you that are big St. Thomas More football fans, you all know the story when Cavaliers reached the Final Four. Their dreams ended one trip shy of a trip to the Dakota Dome in 2024. And the Cavaliers, under the leadership of Austin Hagan, Coach Craig Nowotny, Coach Joe Gutierrez, and this amazing coaching staff, football coaching staff, they were able to get the Cavaliers in the offseason to go all in. And then the Cavaliers, they won the football championship 48-38 over Elk Point Jefferson in the Dakota Dome in a broadcast we had for you here on the Security First Bank Cavalier Sports Network. But to come back to Winter, where Winter has won 10 football state titles, to come back in here knowing that we are the reigning state champions in 11B high school football, man, it feels incredible. I gotta say it. It just feels so awesome. And hats off to all of you players, to all of you parents of those players. Wow. And those 16 seniors, man alive. What can you say about this 2025-2026 sports year? Volleyball goes to the state tournament in Rapid City. The Lady Cavs soccer team under first-year head coach Cassidy Stolley gets to the Final Four. And it's just been amazing. It has just been an amazing ride. And we don't want this ride to end here in Winter. We want to cut down the nets and celebrate a trip to Rapid City, to the monument, for a trip to the state tournament. And once you get to the state tournament, hey, it's anybody's opportunity to cut down the nets and win a state championship. And again, as we look at our amazing St. Thomas More cheer team, we know how much these the cheerleader cheer team and Corey Ryder are the winner of the Homecoming Cavalier Award for Spirit, and the whole crew. We know how much they want to compete for a Spirit of Six award. That only happens if the Cavs get to state next week. And now we'll turn things over to our public address announcer, getting you ready for the Lennox Orioles against your St. Thomas More Cavaliers. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, with technical director Braden Strain, camera operator Regan Dewar, Mike Fell with you high above the floor. The teams come out to shake hands. Broden Sales getting set to tip things off in a moment here with Tegan Musser, and we are ready to go. It's the Cavs, it's the Orioles for the second time this season, and we are underway in the boys Class A Sodak 16. Orioles win the tip. They will go left to right across your screen. Happy to have you with us. We are just underway here in Central Time at 7 o'clock here in Winter. There is a shot off the glass. It's no good. Attempted by Tate Gurgis. The Cavaliers on the attack. Broden Sales to Ashton Paulson. Cavs making it a point of emphasis. They want to start fast in this one. Pull up three for Buzzy is good! Buzzy Gilton with the opening salvo makes it a 3-0 lead for the Cavs. Cavs come out in a surprise aggressive half-court trap. Here comes Gurgis. Gurgis flips it to Mickelson. Mickelson tied up, kicks the ball up high to Aiden Hansen. Hansen guarded by Buzzy, gets around a screen. Hansen drives, scoops, misses. There's an offensive rebound. Now the ball is thrown out of bounds. How about the Cavaliers on defense getting after it? What a perfect start for St. Thomas More. It's only 3-0, but you only get to start that first minute of the game one time. Good start for STM. Here we go. Cavs, the lower seed in this one, trying to earn a split on the season series between these two evenly matched opponents. Driving baseline, bouncing it out of bounds off of Cole Speiler's leg as the resourceful Broden Sales. The bigger the game, the better Broden plays. Here we go, pass underneath, goes to Paulson, who misses an easy layup. Here comes Lennox, coast to coast on the other end. Ball thrown, tapped, now recovered by Hansen. Hansen floats in the lane and misses. Gets his own rebound, keeps it alive. Lennox for a three and a tie is in and out, no good. Attempted there by Cole Speiler. Here come the Cavaliers. The Blue Baron for a three. Good! The Blue Baron, Baron Slusarski makes it 6-0 St. Thomas More. Max Speed nearly gets a steal. Here comes full court pressure. Cavs get back on defense. Lennox in trouble. They're definitely sped up. They do not know what to do right now against this outstanding St. Thomas More effort in the opening moments. Orioles down 6-0, looking for answers, and they commit a turnover. Right now, Lennox, you can just sense they don't know what to do, and maybe they don't even recognize how good these Cavaliers are. Cavs much improved since these two teams met up in January. Broden Sales goes in the lane, gets fouled, no call. Ball deflects to Max Speed, who draws a blocking foul. Cavs are taking it to the Orioles. What a start for St. Thomas More. That foul was considered a foul in the act of shooting. Going to the line, it will be Max Speed trying to build on this early 6-0 advantage for the Cavaliers. Free throw by Max is no good. He'll shoot one more. Cavs able to force 3 turnovers already on Lennox. And a pair of three-pointers by Buzzy Gilton, and the Blue Baron has staked the Cavs to the early lead. Free throw is up and good by Max Speed, who's 1 for 2 with that trip to the charity stripe. Cavs on top 7-0 in what looks like a football score in this football town of Winter, South Dakota. Here we go with the ball on the right side. It's Aiden Hansen. Long three is good for Lennox. Hansen makes it 7-3, and the Orioles are now in business for the first time tonight. Cavs able to keep Lennox off the scoreboard for the opening 2.5 minutes of this one. The Blue Baron to Paulson for three. It's no good. Rebound controlled by Hansen. Here come the Lennox Orioles. Gurgis gets it underneath, wide open, goes to Musser. Musser's going to have his shot redirected. Cavs come up with a loose ball. Cavs on the attack, up by 4, 7-3. Happy to have you along with us. You are watching Security First Bank Cavalier Sports Network coverage with some new enhancements, including instant replay tonight for the first time. There's a pull-up shot from the foul line, missed there by Paulson. Lennox drives and draws a foul. Tate Gurgis is fouled in the act of shooting and will go to the line to shoot 2 for Lennox and try to make it a one-score ball game. Cavs up 7-3 here at the 4:26 mark of the first period. Free throw by Gurgis is good. Gurtis, rather. Tate Gurtis with his first point of the night makes it 7-4. Max Speed comes out to a nice ovation. Checking in for the first time this evening is state champion golfer, good friend of our technical director Braden Strains, Hayden High. There's a second free throw. It's missed, and the Blue Baron comes up with the ball in the corner. Good hustle there by Baron Susarski. With the ball on the right side, it's Hayden High, the senior. Gives the ball over to Buzzy in the corner to the Blue Baron for 3. No good. Rebound controlled by Aiden Hansen. Lennox with a chance to pull to within 1 or tie it right here. Hansen gives the ball up to Musser. Musser to Gurtis. Underneath it goes now to Musser. Musser kicks it in the corner. Splyler for the tie. No good. Good rebound there by Hayden High. Here come the Cavaliers. They want to pick up tempo. Buzzy, open 3. No good. Rebound Spyler, and now Lennox again could make it 7-6 or 7-7 here. Hansen drives and draws a blocking foul on senior Ashton Paulson, who really got caught on an island on that last sequence. That was not ruled to be a foul in the act of shooting, so Tate Gurtis will inbound the ball underneath the St. Thomas More bucket here on the north end of this venerable Old Armory Gymnasium. Gurtis to inbound for Lennox. Ball goes to an open cutter. That's Tegan Musser who banks it in. It's 7-5, 7-6 rather. Cavs have seen their 7-0 lead evaporate. It's now 7-6 STM. Cavs trying to build on their advantage. Paulson goes underneath, gets stopped, absolutely stonewalled that time by Drake Mickelson. Here comes Lennox for the lead. A floater won't go. Offensive rebound goes up in the putback by Tate Gurtis, and the Blue Baron has the rebound. Cavs with a ball and a 1-point lead. Very entertaining opening period of play. And there's a steal. Gurtis with a perfect pass. Missed layup, but the putback is good by Hansen on the miss by Eli Plank. And Lennox has their first lead of the game. It's 8-7. Lennox Orioles. Cavaliers will try to retake the lead here. With the ball, it's Hayden High. High to the Baron. Down low. Paulson shot, no good. But there's an offensive rebound by Max. His putback try won't go. Hayden High comes up with a rebound. He misses everything on his putback try. And they're going to get Max Speed for a frustration foul, hustle foul in the corner. And Lennox will regain the possession, leading 8-7. Lennox on an 8-0 run. This is an Orioles team who has won 11 consecutive games coming into the Sodak 16 clash with St. Thomas More. Here we go. Lennox with the ball and a 1-point lead. Tate Gurtis brings the ball over the line, finds Hansen cutting to the basket, and they're going to get a blocking foul, I think, against Wyatt Buzzy Gilton for St. Thomas More. And that will send to the line Aiden Hansen. Hansen, so far with a game-high 5 points, has been instrumental in this rally, if you want to call it that, for Lennox after falling behind 7-0. Hansen hits the first of 2 foul shots. It's now 9-7 in favor of the Orioles from just south of Sioux Falls. Second free throw by Gertis is good, or by Hansen is good. It's now 10-7. Here come the Cavs. Chance to pull to within one or tie. Speed to High for three and a tie. It's good! Hayden High, the sixth man, comes off the bench and ties this game at 10. What a clutch basket for Hayden. No moment too big for Hayden High, who has provided tremendous contributions off the bench, especially when the Cavs were without max speed, and there's a tie-up and a turnover. And now in this 10-10 ball game, with 1:37 to play in the first period, the Cavs with an opportunity to retake the lead. This has been a game of extended runs so far. In the game for the first time for Coach Tony Young, it's the commander, Noah Wald. Wald, near the midcourt circle, brings it down the floor. Bounce pass goes to Buzzy, to High for three again. Not this time, but there's a rebound by Buzzy. Buzzy to Paulson, to Buzzy, to the commander, Noah Wald. Dribbles, turns, spins, fires, scores! Oh, the commander! The bigger the moment, the better he plays. How about Noah Wald? That is what Noah Wald does. We've seen it on the gridiron, and we've seen it on the court. Cavs are back on top, 12-10, with under a minute to go here in the first period. A trip to the state tournament hanging in the balance. Hansen drives. Did he commit a charge? No whistle. Cavs now in transition with its Buzzy Gilton. Buzzy to the Baron for three. No good. Rebound Lennox. Here come the Orioles. They want to pick up the tempo. Plank has his shot rejected into the third row. Eli Plank had to walk the plank on that one as the Cavaliers knocked that ball into the stands. Don't even think about it. Lennox, Cavaliers leading this one in a very exciting battle, 12-10. Lennox trying to tie or take the lead here after that block a moment ago. Eli Plank, bounce pass, gets it into the blocks. Gertis goes up, misses the shot. Wald with the rebound. Cavaliers can play for the last shot. They're up 12-10. What a start for St. Thomas More. What a start. What a beginning with the ball. It's Buzzy. Buzzy to Ashton Paulson. Paulson underneath will drive and miss the shot, but there's a tip in by Buzzy, and that's the buzzer. And the Cavs have a 14-10 lead. That was outstanding basketball by Coach Young's Cavaliers and St. Thomas More. Unlike what happened at the Corn Palace a month and a half ago, they have turned the tables in a big, big way and staked themselves out to an impressive 14-10 lead here at the end of period number one. Wow, well, catch your breath, get something cold to drink. What a start for this basketball game. The Cavaliers, if you're just joining us, got out to a 7-0 lead. Then Lennox stormed back, retook the lead, 10-7, and then the Cavs mounted a counterinsurgency of their own and closed out the first period with a second 7-0 run. The Cavs, with not one but two 7-0 runs, have staked themselves to a two-possession lead as we begin the second quarter of play, with the Cavs on top 14-10. With camera operator Regan Dewar, technical director Braden Strain, Mike Fell with you. High above the floor here in the old Armory in Winter, South Dakota. Cavaliers with the ball and a 4-point advantage. With the ball left side, Broden Sales, left wing foul line extended High. Gives the ball now over to Paulson. To the Blue Baron, to Speed. Buzzy for three, good! Buzzy with a three-pointer, and he makes the net get caught in the wickets there around the frame. Buzzy Gilton with that second three-pointer gives the Cavs a 17-10 lead. Here comes Lennox, finding themselves for the second time tonight in a 7-point hole. How many times can they get out of a hole like that against the Cavs? Here comes a long three. It's off the mark for Lennox. Rebound, Max Speed. Good job there by Max. He got to the ball first. Paulson turns, spins, shoots, and can't get the shot to fall. Rebound, Hansen. Lennox, long pass down the floor. It's a good one. Goes to Musser, and Musser is going to get tied up, and the possession arrow favors the higher-seeded Lennox Orioles, who trail in this game 14-7. Wow. This has been the kind of first half the Cavaliers were looking for. Trying to get to the state tournament for the 19th time in school history. With the ball, it's Tate Gertis. Gertis dribbles, gets double teamed, gives the ball over to Speiler, to Hansen, to Speiler for three, no good. Cavs with a rebound. Speed just cleaning up on the glass like he's got some Windex. There we go, with the ball left side in the corner. It's Broden Sales. Sales gives it to Ashton Paulson, or rather to the commander, now to Paulson, to Buzzy. Buzzy shoots and misses. Rebound, Tate Gertis for Lennox. Lennox splits the defenders. Gertis in the corner to Hansen, and Hansen's going to draw a blocking foul on the star of the West. That would be Broden Sales. Cavaliers leading in this game 17-10. There's a pass underneath and an easy bucket by Tate Gertis, his first field goal of the evening. And it's now a 5-point lead for St. Thomas More High School. Cavs on the attack. The Blue Baron gets a screen, gives it up to Speed. Max, top of the circle. Passes to Paulson, now to Sales. Sales to Max, Speed. Speed in the blocks, goes up, shoots, and scores! Max Speed, a state champion in football, wants to be a state champion in basketball. Hits that shot, and the Cavaliers now re-extend their lead back to a 7-point margin. Lennox on the offensive. Aiden Hansen gets double teamed. It goes out now to Gertis. Gertis, long three, no good. And Max Speed's there on the defensive rebounding glass. Doing a great job on the board so far is Max Speed. Buzzy Gilton to Sales, who scores! Oh, that shot was faster than Lennox was ready for, and that's a big basket, and the Cavs have their biggest lead of the game. It's 21-12. Man, is it looking good for St. Thomas More. This is Cavalier basketball 2025-2026. Crash the boards, no second chance opportunities, get down the floor on the attack, and several Cavaliers making something happen both through their teamwork and Cavs being aggressive. They have been the aggressor between these two teams, and the Cavs have dictated the terms to this point. And here at the 5:10 mark of the second period, the Cavs lead by 9 points. You couldn't draw up a better start realistically in a rematch of these two teams from a game that Lennox won back on January the 24th at the Corn Palace. Here we go. Well, we're so glad to have you along with us. Cavaliers playing some good defense. Lennox on the offensive attack. With the ball, it's Hansen. Hansen to Gertis. Gertis, fadeaway two-pointer, no good. And the Blue Baron loses the handle after he almost secured the rebound on the miss by Tate Gertis. Special hello to the Phillips over in the Denver area and all the Slusarskis in the Columbus, Nebraska area, and appreciate their support in us being able to add some new equipment to the broadcast. Here we go. Pass is going to be intercepted by Max Speed. Here come the Cavaliers on the offensive attack. Ball goes down low. Broden sails in the blocks, muscling his way up and misses the shot, but gets a deflection and a rebound. Here comes an open three by the Blue Baron. It won't go. Rebound controlled by Lennox, and Broden sails whistled for a foul as he tried to take the ball away from senior guard Tate Gertis for Lennox. Lennox has a tremendous tradition, just like St. Thomas More does in boys basketball, and their tradition goes back a little bit earlier than STM's heyday, as Lennox used to meet up with Larry Lugens and Custer, and I'll get to some of the facts about that rivalry provided by our good friend Landon Wiley from Wiley and Associates in Hill City later on. But Lennox has a very steep tradition in boys basketball in our great state of South Dakota. They are not just another team. Here we go. With the ball, it's Paulson. Paulson to Buzzy, and Buzzy is fouled in the open floor by Drake Mickelson, the 6'5" junior forward. Well, you talk about tree toppers. That's what the Lennox Orioles have on the floor. They have a 6'7" player who doesn't get a lot of time. That's Brennan Jeffer, and then they have 4 6'5" guys, most of whom are on the floor right now. Here we go with the ball. It's Paulson now to the Baron for three. It's gone. The Blue Baron claps his hands again. The net gets stuck. Right now, the Cavaliers have a commanding 24-12 lead over the Lennox Orioles. And how about Buzzy Gilton and the Blue Baron, Baron Slusarski, who each already have a pair of 3 balls in this one. Cavs doubling up the Orioles 24-12, but Lennox is a very good team. This game's far from over. Driving, banking it in, it's Tegan Musser. Cavs lead now cut to 10. 3 minutes to go remaining in the first half. St. Thomas More trying to operate their offense and stay in an aggressive position. It's not always easy to do when you lead by double figures. Driving with it, scooping, missing is the Blue Baron. He gets his own rebound. May have been called for a walk, but wasn't. Here we go. You're not supposed to be able, I think, to do that. Driving, scooping, scoring with an old-fashioned three-point play is Tate Gertis. And the Orioles now starting their second comeback of the evening. They were down 7-0, rallied to take a 10-7 lead. Now they were down 24-12 a few moments ago, and suddenly it's 24-16, and going to the line is senior guard Tate Gertis. Gertis, somebody who has a reputation for being an offensive catalyst for the Orioles. Free throw by Gertis is good. Score now stands at 24-17. Cavs have seen a big lead cut almost in half, and there's a steal on a long pass down the floor, and Gertis against Buzzy with a reverse layup puts it through, and now the Orioles, they're on a 7-0 run, and the Orioles fans are on their feet. It's 24-19. Cavs did not show killer instinct, and now they are losing their way. Here comes Gertis and Lennox. There's a collision, no whistle. Shot goes up, it's no good. Gertis wiping at it while the game is still going, and then after the whistle with Wyatt Buzzy Gilton, Gertis with a little something extra at the end of that missed layup. You can sense the frustration. Tate Gertis, he likes the ball in his hands and likes to do things with the ball. Here we go. With it is Wyatt Buzzy Gilton, or rather the Blue Baron. He's going to get fouled by Aiden Hansen. Cavs up by 5 points, 24-19. We're high above the floor here in Winter with technical director Braden Strain, camera operator Regan Dewar. Happy you're with us. There's a pass down low. Goes to Buzzy Gilton. He misses the shot. There's a collision, and Gertis comes up with it. Gertis, long throw. What a pass. Goes to Eli Plank. Down to Hansen, who splits the defenders, drives, and gets fouled by Hayden High on his way to the hoop. The Orioles have stormed back in this game. St. Thomas More was playing vintage Cavalier basketball, and now it seems like the pace and the physicality of Lennox is shifting things back towards the Cavaliers' opponent from just south of our state's largest city. There's a free throw. It's good by Hansen. Second free throw is also good. Now it's a one-possession game. Here we go again. These two teams, you can feel it. They're not going to let either one of them their opponents get out of range in this one. 1:20 to go, 80 seconds remaining in a fast-moving, thrilling first half of play. Hayden High directing traffic, looks inside, gives the ball between the circles to Noah Wald, who scores a two-point basket, or rather Paulson with the two-pointer. That's Ashton's first points tonight, and those are big points as the Cavs re-extend to a two-possession lead. Long three in the corner, Eli Plank won't fall. Rebound St. Thomas More. Cavaliers up 26-21. There's a scoop shot off, balanced by Baron Slusarski. Here comes Lennox. Gertis to Hansen. Nice pass underneath. The extra pass to Tegan Musser, who banks it home. And the Cavs lead cut back to 3. Cavs will play for the last shot. Up 26-23. Cavs will go into the locker room at halftime with the lead. 16 minutes away from a trip to the state tournament at the Monument in boys Class A basketball. With the ball, it's Buzzy Gilton to the Commander for 3, and it's good! The Commander gets the ball to climb over the front of the iron, and the Cavs will take a 6-point lead into the locker room. It's St. Thomas More 29, Lennox 23. What a first half that was. Wow. Don't know where to begin. This was certainly not what you call a back and forth opening 16 minutes of play. The Cavaliers got out to a 7-0 lead. Then Lennox went on a 10-0 run in response. Then the Cavs went on a 7-0 run again, retook the lead at 17-10. Then the Cavaliers got out to a huge 24-12 lead, only to see that lead nearly erased by a Lennox 9-0 run. And when the dust cleared at the end of the first half of play, the first two periods, it is St. Thomas More in the lead at the intermission, 29-23. The Cavs, the number 10 seed in the Sodak 16, with a half-dozen point advantage over a Lennox Orioles team that truly belongs as a seed in the field at such a high position, number 7 in the state. What a tremendous first half of play. We're going to tally up the score totals. Also going to give you a little bit of a Lennox history lesson as well. And we'll go ahead and fill you in on things. There's been also some interesting observations about how the seedings were arrived at this year. with regards to one of the out-of-state opponents St. Thomas More went up against. I'll document that as well. But what a game we have tonight. And it really feels like, in many respects, we're almost getting a sneak preview of the boys Class A state tournament tonight in winter, because Lennox and St. Thomas More, I think if you talk to a lot of folks, they'll tell you these two teams are two members of the top 8 teams this year in the state of South Dakota. And sometimes it just shakes out that way, that you'll get a Sodak 16 matchup, maybe sometimes even, and we've seen this ourselves with St. Thomas More meeting up with Christian 2 years ago in the regionals, and Hill City last year in that instant classic down in the Southern Hills. But sometimes you even get 2 of the top 8 teams in the state, or 10 teams in the state, meeting up at the regional semifinal round level as well, with a super stacked regional. But tonight in the Sodak 16, we've got a dandy. It's St. Thomas More 29, Lennox 23, and we'll go ahead and count up the scoring totals here. We'll pass those along momentarily. It has been a very exciting first half. Let's start with the Lennox Orioles, who trail St. Thomas More by 6 points here at halftime. Aiden Hansen leading the way with a game-high 9 points. 4 of his 9 points have come from the free throw line. Tate Gertis, he has 8 points in this one. And Tegan Musser, who stands at 6'5", he has 6 points for the O's. For the St. Thomas More Cavaliers, balanced scoring, the name of the game. And not only that, thanks to Hayden High and Noah Wald, the Cavaliers have something the Orioles don't have, and that is bench scoring. Wyatt Buzzy Gilton with 8 points, leading the Cavaliers in the first half with a pair of 3-pointers. Baron Slusarski, he has 6 points for STM. Max Speed, Hayden High, each with 3 points. And Noah Wald, the commander, Broden Sales, the star of the West, and Ashton Paulson, AP, with 2 points each for Coach Young's Black Hills Conference champion Cavaliers. The Cavaliers, by the way, with their win over Lee Deadwood in a game we had for you last Friday night, the Cavaliers went a perfect 11-0 this season in the conference. Now, I want to share this with all of you. This is interesting, and you never know how these things are going to work, but St. Thomas More, you may remember, went up against one of the best teams in the state of Nebraska, the Kearney Bearcats, back on that Saturday morning before Christmas in Scottsbluff, Nebraska, in the border brawl in a game we had for you from the Nebraska Panhandle. And you might remember that was a great game. Kearney won 74-70 in that game. And, well, Kearney had one more game to go in their regular season. Had the South Dakota Activities Association been able to include that last game that Kearney played on Saturday, February 28th, if Kearney had played their last game on Friday, February 27th, the Cavaliers actually would be playing Flandreau tonight. And Flandreau is 15-7, the 11 seed, not nearly as, or rather, I think we'd be playing Stanley County. That's right. We'd be playing 6 seed Stanley County. Anyway, don't know much about Stanley County, but the Cavs would have had a different opponent than the Lennox Orioles if their Nebraska opponent, which it would be the Kearney Bobcats or Bearcats, had played 1 day sooner. So it's interesting sometimes, just the slightest variance, including out-of-state scheduling, can determine the matchups. And here we are tonight two teams that both are good enough to be at the state A tournament in Rapid City starting next Thursday. But again, only one team can advance, and the Cavaliers are on their way so far, leading 29-23 over the Lennox Orioles this evening. Want to say thank you again to Brian Nas, the activities director here at Winter High School. Really enjoyed talking with Brian Nas before the game. And let's see if we can't go ahead and pass along a little history lesson for you. Our good friend Landon Wiley with Wiley and Associates, who does a great job with our graphics and who's been a great resource for our network. And thank you, Landon, if you're watching. Sure appreciate you, your friendship, your support. Let's go ahead here and look at this history lesson. So Custer and Lennox, they locked up, get this, in 6, count them 6 state championship games. And it goes back to 1991. That was actually when I was at college at St. Louis University, broadcasting Billikens games on the St. Louis University KSLU radio station. Here we go. Lennox beat Custer 72-56 in 1991. Then Custer bounced back and beat Lennox 65-58 in 1993. And these were the early years of St. Thomas More High School too, I might add. Then the two schools met again. Custer beat Lennox 55-50 in the 2002 Class A finals. Then, I'm not reading it chronologically correct. Custer beat Lennox in 1992, 79-72. Custer edged out Lennox 54-52 in the 1998 Class A finals. And then Lennox, in the last of the 6 meetings, destroyed Custer 49-32. And then, of course, starting in 2006, the Cavaliers started winning several of their 4 state championships under head coach Dave Hollenbeck. But before, the Cavs were winning and cutting down the nets as 4-time state champions. Many times it would come down to Custer or Lennox, and Custer won 4 out of 6 state championship meetings in boys Class A from 1991 through 2003. So we thank Landon Wiley for that stroll down the history of South Dakota basketball, and we had a very quick halftime intermission, and we're okay with that. Let's play basketball. We start the second half. Cavs on top, 29-23. Cavs with the ball going left to right across your screen. Happy you're with us this evening on a snowy night, we understand, back in Rapid City. With the ball, it's the Blue Baron. Ball kicked over to Paulson, to Buzzy, to Speed, back to Buzzy. Buzzy guarded tightly by Aiden Hansen. Here comes a three-pointer in the corner, too strong from the Blue Baron, Baron Susarski. Rebound controlled by Tate Gertis and Lennox. Gertis drives, and that's going to be a blocking foul. Cavs and their St. Thomas More faithful looking for a charge. The officials have yet to call a charge against either team so far tonight. Any kind of contact has been deemed a blocking foul to this point of the evening. Gertis, free throw, no good. Tate Gertis will try again. St. Thomas More up by 6. Cavs trying to end a 3-year state tournament drought tonight. Second free throw by Gertis, too strong, and Tate Gertis 0 for 2 with that trip to the line. You're not going to get to state when you miss free throws like that. Driving with a ball and hitting the deck is Ashton Paulson, and Paulson will go to the line and shoot 2. Free throws are so important If you watch some of these major college conference tournaments, both girls and boys, the last couple of days, how many of those games are decided at the free throw line? It's a high number. First free throw by Paulson, no good, and man, don't know what got into the free throw shooters to start the second half, but whatever it is, it hasn't been good. Here comes Paulson's second free throw. Can he make it? No, he misses that too. Both teams go 0 for 2 with their first trip to the line here in the second half. Those are free points being squandered away like shadows to a sundial. Here we go with the ball, driving Hansen. Hansen, what a pass. Shut out the glass, won't go. Hansen has it and puts it up and in. And that is going to lead to a substitution. Max Speed may have re-aggravated his lower back area. Kristen Whitley attending to Max. Max in some pain as he has to exit the game. And by the way, Aiden Hansen with that basket hits double figures, first player in double figures for either team. And now it is a 4-point lead for the Cavaliers. Buzzy to the Barron for three, in and out, no good. There's a rebound, Sales. Sales loses the handle, gets it back. Bounce pass to the Barron, shovel pass to Buzzy, over to Paulson, back to the Barron. Barron drives baseline past Curtis and scores! Oh, that was a big time play. And the Cavaliers now are back to a 6-point advantage. That was a big basket. There's a steal. Good defense by Susarski to free that ball loose, and now driving with it, Paulson. He is collided with, and the ball goes out of bounds, but the official does not blow the whistle. He considered that contact just legitimate cost of doing business under the basket, I guess. Here we go with the ball up top. Drake Mickelson, Mickelson to Gertis, over to Musser. Now it goes to Hansen, who drives and scores. Aiden Hansen doing so much to keep Lennox in this game. Cavaliers with the ball and a 4-point lead, up 31-27. With it is the Blue Barrett to Paulson for three, good! Ashton Paulson rains down his first three-pointer tonight, and the Cavs are back out to a 7-point lead. Ball loose in front of the basket. Hansen comes up with it for Lennox. Orioles have been down by 7 points or more 4 times so far tonight. Hansen's shot blocked by Sales. That was cold-blooded. Here comes the Cavaliers. Shut off the glass, no good. And now Lennox with it. Speiler drives, and there's that charge we've been waiting for all night. Paulson takes the charge. His head hit the deck, and we may have concerns about a broken nose or a bloody nose. Kristen Whitley, who is trying to do 2 things at the same time, taking care of Max Speed's back and now taking care of Ashton Paulson's nose. And man alive, I'll tell you, it's just like a mash unit right now for the Cavaliers. And that, oh, there was a bridge to the nose. He slid his nose right there. Ow. Whoa. So Paulson and Speed, 2 of the Cavaliers starters, are out due to a bang-bang set of physical ailments, and now they're going to clean up some blood that's on the floor here in Winter. Man alive. Well, the Cavaliers, through the collisions, the injuries, and the blood, lead 34-27. And going into the locker room with a slit, our technical director, Braden Strain, says it's a split above the bridge of the nose area. And I have to admit, I don't have my eyeglasses, so I don't have a vivid look. I can't see the blood drops on the floor either, but they have done their best to clean them up. I think they've got them all cleaned up. Wow. Well, this is to go to state. There will be blood. Here we go. Here come the Cavaliers, up by 7. The commander, Noah Wald, gives to Hayden High. High looks inside, dribbles to the left, now dribbles, throws it right side over to the commander. Wald, guarded by Speiler, gives the ball to Buzzy Gilton. Cavs up by 7. Sales wants to drive baseline, can't find an opening. Gives it now to the Blue Baron, over to High. Shot clock winding down, 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Buzzy in trouble, shoots and misses. Fight for the rebound, and the Blue Baron comes away with the offensive board on the long carom on the miss a moment ago from Wyatt Buzzy Gilton. So the Cavs avoid a turnover on a shot clock violation or a rush shot. Now they can set up their offense in the half court, up by 7, trying to get home for state. We have a whistle, and Hayden High is going to be fouled in the act of shooting. Nope, not in the act of shooting. They're going to say the foul was when he was still on the floor. Max Speed is out. So is Ashton Paulson. Cavs digging deep on their bench into Noah Wald and Hayden High. High will shoot a 3, it won't go. And we've got a whistle and a foul called on Broden Sales. Coach Young vehemently disagrees with the ruling, and the crowd for Lennox puts their hands together approving the call. 34-27. Cavs lead by 7, and now we have a major situation, as if it couldn't get any worse than the injury to Max Speed with the lower back injury and the split above the nose on Ashton Paulson. He's still in the locker room. Now Broden Sales is out of the game with 4 personal fouls. So you throw foul trouble on top of the injuries, and now Krista Whitley's racing down the hallway to check on Ashton Paulson with his bleeding nose. Man alive. All of this happening since half. We're not even 5 minutes into the second half. Long 3 is good by Buzzy Gilton. Boy, do the Cavs need that. Cavaliers now are up 10, 37-27. Max Speed set to check in, we think, if he can go. We've got a whistle, and on the floor right now, Ryan Negebauer. We haven't seen Ryan Negebauer, who was the 6th man to start the year for STM until now. Going to the line to shoot free throws with the foul is Aiden Hansen. Cavs up by 10, but man, they are short-handed. Feels like they're winning by 10 with one hand tied behind their back. Hansen makes a free throw. To recap, Broden Sales right now on the bench with 4 personal fouls. In the locker room is Ashton Paulson with a bloody nose. And Max Speed set to check back in, fighting through a re-aggravation of his lower back injury. And now Buzzy Gilton calls a timeout to avoid a possible turnover. So the Cavaliers have 1 man on the bench with 4 fouls. They've got Paulson, one of their top guards, a senior, in the locker room with a slit above his nose, around the bridge area of his nose after taking a charge. And then the Cavaliers have Max Speed looking like he's just going to try to tough it out, even though he was in a tremendous amount of physical strain or pain when he came out of the game. And here comes Paulson, out of the locker room. I think he's going to try to get back in there. This is right up there with Daniel Russo and the Karate Kid trying to come out and get back out there to help his team with everything on the line. And what can you say about Monument Health's Kristen Whitley? She is the absolute finest sports athletic trainer anywhere. She's got Max back out there, and she's doing her part to get Ashton back on the floor. Way to go, Kristen Whitley, state champion trainer. Cavaliers with a ball, going left to right. Across your screen, up by 8, 37-29. Hayden High, who has really played an important role off the bench in this one tonight, and may have to go the distance under these circumstances. Driving Wald. Wald puts it off the heel of the rim, no good. And the Orioles come up with the loose ball. Tate Gertis and the Orioles down by 8, trying to fight their way back in and take advantage of the Cavaliers, basically in a penalty kill-like situation, the balance of this third period. Playing short-handed, there's a block! Buzzy gets it to High, who will lay it up and miss, but there's Buzzy with the tap in, and the Cavs are up by 10. Circle that play, put a star on that one. That's the kind of play that sends you to state. And there's a quick response for Lennox as Eli Plank, who had his shot blocked into the third row earlier in this one, gets his first points of the game. Cavs back up by 8 points. You can tell Lennox feels like they've got something coming. Driving with it is the commander, Noah Wald. Wald is built for the big moments, the medium-sized moments, and the little ones. It's nothing Noah Wald can't handle, the state football 11B state champion MVP. Free throw is no good by Noah Wald. He'll shoot one more. Commander now will get to go to the line to try to make it a 9-point lead, and back out there is Ashton Paulson after he took a charge and was bleeding profusely and needed to go to the locker room under duress earlier. Second free throw, no good. Rebound controlled by Lennox. Orioles with the ball, down by a large single-digit deficit. Hansen from the free throw line scores. Aiden Hansen, he's done so much. Here come the Cavaliers. Buzzy puts it up and through. Good play there by the Cavs, quickly getting the ball down the floor. And the Cavs are back up by 8, 41-33. Under a minute to go in this very entertaining, intriguing third period, which at times has felt like, personnel-wise, a equivalent of a game of Jenga, seeing which team will keep standing as blocks get pulled away. There's a shot off the glass. It's good by Tate Musser, and there's a turnover on the Cavaliers with 22.2 seconds to go, and STM up by 6. This feels like a big possession. If you're St. Thomas More, you don't want to only be up by 4 or 3. You'd rather be up by 6 or more. Cavs have led most of this game. In fact, they haven't trailed since it was 10-7. That was back in the first period. Hansen works, final second. Pass goes to Musser. 3, good! And Lennox has made it a one-possession ball game at the end of the third period. Tegan Musser pulls the trigger as time expires and makes it 41-38. Wow. Well, it's hard to fully diagnose what we just saw in the third period, but we'll do our very best here on the Security First Bank Cavalier Sports Network. Cavaliers, they had a 6-point lead going into the third period. Now, after being outscored by a 2-point margin, 17-15 in the third period. The Cavaliers are still in the lead going into the fourth and final frame, but Lennox has made it a 3-point game. Max Speed is out there having re-aggravated the lower back injury that kept him out of action for several weeks. Also, St. Thomas More was without Ashton Paulson for most of the third quarter. And Broden Sales, who is back on the floor, has to be careful because one more foul and he's out of this game. He's playing with 4 personals. And we begin the fourth period with technical director Braden Strain, camera operator Regan Dewar, Mike Fell with you live from Winters, South Dakota, part of Tripp County, but not the county seat of Tripp County. That's Burke. And there's a bucket that makes it a 1-point game by Tegan Musser. Cavs up by 1. This is what it's all about, a trip to the state tournament on the line here in South Dakota. With the ball, right side, right wing high, is Buzzy Gilton. Buzzy drives, finds the Barron, who puts up a layup, no good. The ball deflects to Sales, he gets fouled, no whistle, and the Cavs will reset the half court. Cavs up by a point, 41-40. What a game, what an instant classic, and a rematch of an instant classic at the world's only Corn Palace back on January 24th. Driving with it is Sales, it's no good. Rebound controlled, or rather Paulson, no good. With it is Hansen for the lead. Lennox misses the 3. Rebound Buzzy Gilton, and the Cavs retain the lead. Paulson gives the ball up to Wyatt Buzzy Gilton, now in the corner to Ashton Paulson. Paulson playing with a bloody nose, long 3, no good. Rebound Aiden Hansen. Lennox can retake the lead here, but it's poked away by Broden Sales. Turnover on Lennox. Cavaliers with a ball, leading 41-40 with 6:15 to go in the game. Buckle up. There's going to be some turbulence. With it, Speed, long 3 is missed by Buzzy, but the Blue Baron is there with the putback and the score. And the Blue Baron has made it a 43-40 lead. The Cavs up by 3. Contact between Buzzy and Gertis, not called on the far side away from the ball. Officials letting both teams really play, but that's how you do it in East River. And even though we're in West River, we are letting it go tonight. Driving with it, Hansen. Hansen scoops, misses. There's a rebound by Max Speed, who almost stepped on Hansen. Now the Blue Baron comes away with the ball, and the Cavs will reset up by 3. St. Thomas More, 5:15 to go. In the lead as the lower seed in this matchup. 10 seed versus 7 seed. Paulson drives, shot block. Good block there by Musser. And now Lennox is going to draw a foul as Paulson fouls Cole Speiler in the open floor. Cavaliers in front by 3 points, 43-40, with 5 minutes exactly to go in regulation. I knew it would be a great game. I didn't know it was going to be this great, and that so many different things were going to happen along the way. With the ball, Tate Gertis. Gertis getting well defended. He hits the Blue Baron in the nose. Let's hope he's not bleeding. Driving Hansen, who scores. Hansen makes it a 1-point game, and we've got a whistle. And yep, the Blue Baron is bleeding. So here we go again. That's 2 bloody noses if you're scoring at home. A lower back injury aggravation in an extended amount of time lost with foul trouble. The lady with the cleaning detergent and the bloody gloves is getting a workout tonight, as now the Blue Baron will go down the hallway and he'll get his nose checked on. And here comes Kristen Whitley and Ryan Messick, and man alive, I've never seen Kristen Whitley get more activity in a basketball game than this one. 4:27 to play. Cavs up 43-42. Midcourt trap. Ball is passed ahead to Buzzy Gilton. Hayden High finds a wide open Speed, who scores! That was teamwork on display, and Max Speed with a finish. Stone Cold makes it 45-42 Cavs. Lennox looking to answer. Gertis kicks it up top to Mickelson. Now a three by Hansen, short, but there's an offensive rebound and a layup on the putback by Drake Mickelson. That's Drake's first bucket of the ball game. Cavs back to a 1-point lead. 3:45 to go. Cavs on top, 45-44 here in Winter. What a game. What a game. Pass goes left side. Over to Paulson. Paulson dribbles, top of the key, now penetrates, gets fouled, and will go to the line to shoot two. Paulson, taking matters into his own hands, will step to the charity stripe to try to build on a 1-point narrow margin in favor of St. Thomas More with 3:22 to play in the fourth quarter. Paulson, free throw number 1 coming up. Good. Free throw number 2, equally as important, coming up to make it a 3-point game. Free throw is good. Cavaliers have a 3-point lead yet again. 47-44. Coach Tony Young's Black Hills Conference champions, under 3.5 minutes away from a trip to the 2026 Boys Class A State Tournament at the Summit Arena at the Monument in Rapid City. But getting the deal sealed will not be easy. This is a Lennox Orioles team that has won 11 straight and has faced each of the top 5 seeded teams in tonight's Sodak 16 along the way to a 17-5 record, or 4 of the top 5 teams on the way to this record. Say thank you to these great sponsors. Monument Health, the official sports athletic training partner of St. Thomas More Athletics. Don't know where we'd be without Kristen Whitley tonight and all that she has had to tend to. 2 bloody noses and a lower back aggravation. The Cavs right now on the floor, you've got Paulson, Max, Hayden High, Buzzy, and the Blue Baron. There's a long 3. Or check that, the Blue Baron not in the game at the moment. We have a miss by Lennox and a foul. Cavaliers able to secure the rebound, draw contact. Hearing the St. Thomas More fans chanting, "Go Big Blue, go Big Blue." Cavs trying to hang on and go to state, up 47-44 here in Winter. With the ball, it's Max Speed. Max flips it out to Buzzy, out of Paulson. Paulson looking for a screen from Max. Crosses over, gives it to Buzzy. Buzzy with a lane will go up and miss the shot. Rebound Drake Mickelson. Outlet pass down the floor to Cole Speiler. Speiler double teamed, in trouble, and Lennox calls a timeout. Probably a good timeout there, called by Lennox's head coach. Well, let's take a moment, recognize these great sponsors: Culver's Restaurant, Quinn Construction, Shields, Watiki Water Park, Ruby Tuesdays, that's where the Cavaliers eat. Rosenbaum Signs, Meyer Dental, South Dakota National Guard, and the Monument at Tuscany Square. Security First Bank, Cavalier Sports Network. Proud moment for our network. We are in our 6th year, and thanks to your generosity, and we know all of you donors have hopefully received your thank you notes by now. We appreciate your support. Braden Strain doing a super job as our technical director. We have unveiled brand new equipment. Braden has worked around the clock since the equipment arrived yesterday at St. Thomas More High School to get everything ready, and we hope you have enjoyed watching this game tonight as much as the three of us, Regan, Braden, and I, Mike Fell, have enjoyed bringing it to you. Here we go. Lennox to inbound the ball. Is anyone going to get open? Yes, apparently someone does. That is going to be Tegan Musser. Here comes Lennox. Lennox with the ball, down 3. Every possession uber critical at this point. Pass goes to Gertis. Gertis goes up, misses the layup, and the ball goes out of bounds. Tate Gertis, who has a reputation for being very good, failed the most basic of scoring opportunities a moment ago. The Cavs maintain a 3-point lead and now a chance to build on it. Those are the kind of shots you have to make in the month of March. And Tate Gertis missed it. With it is Sales. Sales with 4 fouls has his shot blocked, and oh no! He commits a 5th foul. Broden Sales has fouled out of the game. The star of the West will have to hang up his hat here. That's 5 fouls on Broden Sales. He was trying to get a tie-up, and he couldn't do it. And there's a round of applause, and let's hope that 5th foul by Broden Sales doesn't tip the scale in the wrong direction. Cavs with the on defense down 3, but they are really going to miss Broden Sales. Long 3, Gertis, no good. Rebound though on offensive end by Mickelson. He probably doesn't get that. Speiler rather doesn't get that rebound if Broden Sales is on the floor. You just saw right there the impact of the absence of Broden Sales, who just fouled out of the game with 5 personal fouls. Here comes Lennox, and we have a whistle, and the Blue Barons going to be called for a block as Gertis dribbled across the center of the half court. Cavaliers, throughout all this mayhem, still lead by 3, and we're starting to get short in the time department. Minute 25 to go. The Orioles need to start scoring. They're only down 3, but the Cavs is banged up, and now without Broden Sales, they're still in the lead, and that's what matters most. Long 3 for Lennox is good, and Aiden Hansen just tied the score at 47-47. Now the Lennox fans are all on their feet, and so are the Cavs fans. Under a minute to go. It's anybody's game. Who's going to step up? Who will be the man of the moment for either one of these teams? Cavs with the ball, trying to retake the lead. Paulson, 10 on the shot clock, dribbles, and Coach Young wants a timeout. He will not allow Paulson to go to the hoop there, and instead wants to draw up a play in this 47-47 tie. Well, let's set the scene for you once again. St. Thomas More without Broden Sales. Paulson and the Blue Baron dealing with bloody noses in the second half. Max Speed not apparently at 100%. He re-aggravated his lower back. For Lennox, they still have their full complement of players. The Orioles and the Cavaliers are in a tie ball game 47-47 with just under 40 seconds to go. Cavs have the ball. Biggest possession of the year for St. Thomas More coming up right here, right now. Cavs fans making some noise here in Winter. Here we go. On the floor, it's High, Paulson, Speed, Buzzy, and the Blue Baron, Baron Susarski to inbound, and here we go. Only a few seconds on the shot clock, 3 on the clock. Paulson at the horn will score! He put it in, and the Cavs have the lead again. 49-47, and Lennox has to call a timeout. What a clutch play by Ashton Paulson. Time running down on the shot clock. He knocks home the shot that just put the Cavs a lot closer to the state tournament back home in Rapid City. It's 49-47 with 24 and a half seconds to go. Man, what a moment. Ashton Paulson, a player that Stevens never should have let get away, coming through in his second year here in the St. Thomas More program with a shot that may be a part of Cavalier folklore. In a moment like this, I always think back to 2021. It was Kadoka, South Dakota, and Ryan Wojcik hit a game winner with 12 seconds left, 5 seconds left to lift the Cavaliers past the Madison Bulldogs to make it to the state tournament in that COVID year of 2020-2021. Well, here we go. Cavs on defense. Can they make a stop? Whatever they do, they can't allow a 3 and fall behind in these final 25 seconds. Lennox with the ball. Tate Gertis between the circles. Gives the ball to Speiler, back to Gertis. Gertis drives on High, goes up, gets fouled, and misses the shot. Oh, was that dangerous? That was almost a 3-point play, the old-fashioned way for Lennox. Instead, the pressure now on Tate Gertis's shoulders. He has to hit both of these free throws to force a tie. First free throw is good, and the net never moved. And now Coach Young is going to ice Tate Gertis. What a brilliant decision by first-year head coach Tony Young. He's going to make Tate Gertis think about this all-important second free throw for over a minute in real time, with the Cavaliers leading 49-48. Well, I'll tell you this. You look back a month and a half ago, Lennox beat St. Thomas More 41-49. Well, it's a little bit of deja vu. I mean, the score is almost identical in terms of both teams combining for nearly 100 points. We have had a lot of twists and turns along the way, but the Cavaliers at the moment, they're back at 49 points, but this time in the lead. And of course, we have a very real specter of overtime here in the boys Class A Sodak 16 matchups between two teams that many consider to be among the 8 best teams in boys Class A this season. Tate Gertis coming off of an extended timeout. Ice moment here. Will try to tie it with a second free throw. Cavs will crash the boards, no doubt. Second free throw is good, and we are all tied at 49. Cavaliers now with a chance to win the game. And there's a foul committed by Cole Speiler. And I think right now the Orioles, with some team fouls to give, they want to be able to put the Cavs in the bonus if they need to. Cavs will inbound in front of the Lennox bench. The Blue Baron finds Ashton Paulson. 10 seconds to go. The Cavs with a chance to go to state. There's another foul by Cole Speiler. That's the 4th team foul now with 9.5 seconds to go. So if the Orioles want to commit another foul to put the Cavs on the line, they will. Cavs will go for the trip to state here. Here we go. This is it. This is it. Paulson between the circles gives it to Buzzy. Final seconds. Buzzy to go to state. Misses the shot, and we're going to overtime. Buzzy's shot hit the front of the rim and didn't fall through. Wow. What a game. 49-49. Are you ready for 4 more minutes of basketball here in Winter, South Dakota to determine who will advance to the state tournament? Keep in mind, the Cavaliers are without Broden Sales in overtime. That's a big deal. When you talk about rebounding and controlling the glass, not having Broden Sales, who fouled out with over 2 minutes to go, where he thought he was getting a tie-up, but instead was called for a reach-in. That was the 5th foul on Sales, and Cavaliers, who have had to deal with the re-aggravation of Max Speed's lower back injury that kept him out for a couple of weeks and several games. Bloody noses to Baron Slusarski, and also to Ashton Paulson. Well, this is it. Cavaliers and Orioles will play extra time to determine who will punch their ticket to the state tournament in Rapid City, South Dakota. What a game. This is a game so good. It's a game neither team deserves to lose. Ball is into the air. Lennox wins the tip, and the Orioles will start in this 49-49 deadlock with Regan Dewar, Braden Strain. My name is Mike Fell. Happy to be with you wherever you're watching tonight. Shot off the back foot is going to be handled by Max Speed, who gets fouled. Good defense there by the Cavaliers, swarming to the jump shot on a fadeaway, and the Cavaliers will go to the line to shoot to Max Speed. Will try to give the Cavs the lead back. Want to point out, not only do the Cavs want to get to state, the cheer team really wants to compete for another Spirit of Six championship in their hometown next week. First free throw by Max Speed is no good. Second free throw to give the Cavs a 50-49 lead is good. Max Speed now with 6 points. Puts the Cavs back in front, 50-49. Tate Gertis for Lennox. Has it between the circles, guarded by Hayden High. Flips the ball left side over to Musser. Now it goes underneath the Hansen. Hansen fadeaway shot, no good. Cavs with a good stop. Cavaliers up by 1. 3:20 to play in overtime. Nothing has been decided. This game has had it all, and then some. With the ball, it's High. High gets it to the Baron in the corner. Gives it to Buzzy. Buzzy over to Paulson. Paulson dribbles, turns, spins, and commits a travel. Paulson that time lost his balance on the spinorama, and that will give the ball back to Lennox, who trails by a point, 50-49. Orioles brought a lot of fans with them from the farming community and suburbs south of Sioux Falls. Gertis in the corner, gives it out to Musser, who hands to Speiler. Speiler flips to Hansen. Hansen dribbles top of the key, shoots a three, it's no good. Rebound Hyde, and Hyde was held, no whistle, and now Hyde draws a foul, and you can sense the frustration a moment ago by the coach for Lennox, who really wanted his team just to get back on defense. That's Coach Jacob Hinker for Lennox, who is not happy to send Hayden High to the line. Hayden, who didn't see a lot of minutes early in the season, has been a very important part of this 2025-2026 season, and he will shoot 2 big free throws, and he hits the first. Hayden High, South St. Thomas More's first ever boys state golf champion, ties the game at 50, or makes it 51-49, Cavs by 2, and hits the second free throw. It's 52-49. Cavs back up by 3. Plenty of time remaining, 2:28 and counting. Orioles in overtime, down 3 with the ball. Hansen shoots a 3 for the tie, good. Aiden Hansen, who right now, unofficially, is at 24 points in this game, has tied this one at 52 apiece. Aiden Hansen with almost half his team's points. Long 3 by the Blue Baron, no good. High chases after it and can't come up with it. And Lennox gets the ball in this tie ball game. Orioles with a chance to take their first lead since they led 10-7 back in the first period. Orioles have just hung in there. They were down by 12 at one point, 24-12. And here they are in overtime. 3 for the lead is good. Tegan Musser, now with 16 points for Lennox, has put the Orioles on top, 54-51, and the Cavs are going to have to dig deep in this final minute 25. Cavs need to score. They cannot afford a turnover. The Blue Baron gets ready to shoot a 3, and before he can shoot, Coach Young says, "Don't shoot, I'm calling a timeout." Coach Young wants a timeout, a full timeout for the Cavaliers, I think, to settle his team down, regroup, and perhaps draw up a high percentage scoring opportunity play, with St. Thomas More down 55-52. Well, you rarely see a game like this one where the Cavaliers were in a position where they led most of the game but just couldn't put it away. And you can't say enough about Aiden Hansen, who has a total tonight of 24 points, and Tegan Musser, who has a total of 16 points. Between Hansen and Musser, and also the sound play and ball handling and defensive hustle of Tate Gertis, the Orioles have hung in there. They made their move. They made their clutch free throws, and now the Cavaliers are in a position where they are behind for the first time in a long, long time. Let's see how the Cavs respond. Cavaliers with the ball. 70 seconds to go in this game. Paulson driving against Gertis, splits the defenders, finds Hyde for 3, no good. Offensive rebound though by the Blue Baron. The Baron in trouble, gives it to Speed. Max Speed drives baseline, looking for help, finds Paulson. Cavaliers reset their attack. Still a lot of time on the shot clock. Paulson drives, scores the basket, gets an old-fashioned three-point play. Paulson, who had a bloody nose and a split above his nose earlier, comes through with perhaps the biggest basket of his career and pulls the Cavs to within 1. It is 55-54, and if Paulson can hit this free throw, St. Thomas More will tie the game at 55-55. We only have 49.5 seconds to go in this game. Coach Jacob Hinker this time calls a timeout to ice the free throw shooter for the Cavaliers in Ashton Paulson, and to reset his defense, or set up his next possession. Every possession, absolutely huge. How about this? The Cavaliers now, they have played nearly 6 minutes without their outstanding forward, Broden Sales, who has been unavailable since he fouled out with a little over 2 minutes to play in regulation. And to see the Cavaliers step up, and how about Hayden High? I mean, Hayden, he has just played like he has ice water in his veins in the proverbial sense tonight. He has stepped up huge. Here we go. And a lot of things he's done don't show up in the scoring column, but they sure matter. Going to the line now, it's Paulson. If Ashton hits this free throw, we are tied at 55. Paulson for the tie. Got it! We're all tied at 55. Old-fashioned three-point play. Paulson converts. Lennox with the ball, about a 13-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. The Orioles at the wheel here with a chance to drive a trip to state home. With the ball in the corner, it's Musser. Musser finds Hansen. Hansen goes up, gets his shot blocked. What's the call? They're gonna say it's a stop. It's a clean stuff by the Cavs, and the Cavs take over on what's a de facto traveling violation turnover. Cavs can play for the last shot at a trip to state. If the Cavs score here, we're gonna go crazy and celebrate all the way home to Rapid City. 55-55. Paulson, guarded by Gertis, has it between the circles, gives it to the Blue Baron. Slusarski finds in the corner, high, shakes a man, shoots and scores! The Cavs have taken the lead with 2 seconds to go! Hayden High, we just talked about him. The state champion golfer, he grabbed the wedge and he just chipped in off the green. The Cavaliers, 57-55. Hayden High, he absolutely shocked the shoes off, the ankles off the defender for Lennox by not shooting, made a move to his left, hits the 12-footer, and just might have put the Cavaliers, very well may have put the Cavaliers in the state tournament. Wow. Hayden High, who was the 7th man off the bench in December, might just get carried off the floor by his teammates in about 2 basketball seconds from now. But it's not over. They add 2 more seconds to the clock. There are now 4 full seconds. Lennox will try to play for the tie or win the game with a 3, with the Cavaliers up 57-55. On the floor for STM, it's Hayden High, Buzzy Gilton, Ashton Paulson, Baron Slusarski, and Max Speed. What a group of warriors here at the home of the Winter Warriors we've got for STM. Lennox will have to go coast to coast to tie or win the game. Cavs just have to make one quick stop, and they're going home. Here comes Lennox. Shot at the buzzer is no good! No good! No good! The Cavs are going to state! St. Thomas More has done it! They have played short-handed throughout the second half and overtime. Hayden High wins the game with 2 seconds left. And Braden Strain, our technical director, who's best friends with Hayden, is just beside himself in joy and exuberation. And so is Regan Dewar, and so is yours truly. And the Cavaliers are going to the state tournament, and there's that instant replay, that last shot off the front of the iron. We couldn't be happier as Cavs fans in our Security First Bank Cavalier Sports Network. You're getting your first ever look at instant replay, and now we're going to cut down the nets and celebrate a trip to state. What a year this has been. A dream season, dream year going back to August. I mean, the Lady Cavs basketball team, Sodak 16, Black Hills Conference runners-up. Our boys just made it to state, Black Hills Conference champs. Cavs overcome an injury to Max, bloody noses to Baron Susarski, the Blue Baron, and also, how about the injury, the bloody nose to Ashton Paulson. Kristen Whitley from Monument Health, our state champion trainer, comes to the rescue. Hayden High comes off the bench in this game and just does an incredible job and hits the game winner. And I said to Coach Young on the way here, I got a ride with Coach Young on the way here to Winter. I said, you know what I love this time of year? It's at this time of year that somebody steps up and becomes a hero and does more than you could ever imagine. And I wasn't sure who I was thinking of, but the good Lord revealed that that man was Hayden High tonight. Hayden High not only captured the moment, but he gave us a moment we'll never forget. St. Thomas More 57, Lennox 55. The Cavs avenge a 2-point loss at the Corn Palace to Lennox and have punched their ticket to the state tournament, ending a 3-year state tournament drought. And our cheer team, coached by Tracy Stamper, they will compete for a Spirit of Six championship. I just saw Tracy give Coach Young a really big happy hug, because this cheer team deserves a shot at a state title too in the Spirit of Six award. And they're passing out the medals now to all of our Cavalier players and coaches. And what a great job by this amazing coaching staff under Coach Tony Young, Mitch Lusarski, Scott Donnelly, Bill Whitney, Craig Bloom. How about we did it? How about these Cavs? And there's the ladder. I see the ladder on the north side of the gym, and we will capture every moment of this ceremony. Tip of the hat to Lennox. Their season ends at a record of 17-6. St. Thomas More going to state. There's Grandpa Wald. He's so proud of his grandson, of course. Noah Wald, the commander. And, oh, man, just celebrate, Cavs fans. This is what it's all about. And for Coach Tony Young, his first year at the helm after many years as an assistant, if he hasn't shown just what a phenomenal hire it was to make Coach Tony Young the head coach after Coach Hollenbeck moved on to have major success at West Central High School in Hartford. This is just, I mean, it doesn't get more storybook. Coach Young, his first year, perfect in the conference with this Cavs team, and now the Cavs are going to state. And Hayden High, I mean, you talk about an unlikely hero. He was that man tonight. He was that guy, that dude, and he got it done. We're going to count up the scoring totals, and then we will capture the net cutting ceremony. We want to thank again our good friend, Winter Activities Director Brian Nas, for giving us all of our hospitality and setting things up here for the net cutting ceremony coming up in a matter of moments. Counting up all the scoring totals here, as we are so darn happy. The Cavaliers are going to the Summit Arena at the Monument next Thursday. will try to win 3 games in 3 days and win their 5th state championship. And here we're going to have a team picture here. As let's do a close-up on that. And boy, we have a lot to talk about. Adding up the final scoring totals at the moment for the Cavaliers. Cavaliers just stepping up. We hope to talk to Tony Young after this game. I'm Regan or Braden, I'm going to have one of you probably go down and grab Coach, because when there's a moment this big, it's sometimes kind of hard to forget about the interview opportunities. But I don't want to get in the way of the net cutting ceremony. We could stay as long as we want, because we are here for the Cavs, and we are not going back to quote-unquote regularly scheduled programming now, are we? So let's go ahead and count up the scoring totals for Lennox, who falls 57-55 to St. Thomas More tonight. Aiden Hansen was spectacular. The junior guard with 24 points tonight. Tegan Musser with 16 points. Tate Gertis with 8. Eli Plank and Drake Mickelson with 2 points apiece for Coach Jacob Hinker's Orioles, who finished the season at 17-6 and whose season ends in the Sodak 16. For the St. Thomas More Cavaliers, they were led in double figures by a pair of performers. Wyatt Buzzy Gilton with 15 points. Ashton Paulson, who came back in the second half after taking a brutal charge and having a bloody slit above his nose, or his upper nose bridge area. He put up 12 points, including 10 in the second half and overtime after going through that bloodied incident. Then the Blue Baron Slusarski, had 8 points tonight in the victory. And then Hayden High, what can you say about Hayden? The game-winning basket, who is the golfing partner, teammate, and best buddy of our very own technical director, Braden Strain. And Hayden with the game-winning shot with 2 seconds to go. Puts his name right up there with Ryan Wojcik and many other great Cavs who have hit game winners to send St. Thomas More to state. Unofficially, this is the Cavaliers' 19th trip to the state tournament, and they have punched a lot of tickets. Yep, come on up. Coach Young going to join us, and I think we're going to go to our special interview cam here in a moment. And, oh, man, this is what it's all about. Can't wait for this interview. This is the kind of interview that you dream about. And we're going to have Coach Young. Let's let Coach Young through the iron gate here, and we'll talk to Coach. Coach,
how are we doing?
We're doing really good.
I'm giving everybody hugs.
Let's give everybody a hug. Can I get a hug? Oh, man, I'll tell you what. Well, Mr. Coach Tony Young, we're going to have you look this way. We've got all these new cameras now, and we're kind of showing off a little bit with all these new cameras. Coach, you and I were riding together. Tell me if you remember these words where I said, you know, my favorite time of year is when you have someone step up and be a hero that you just don't see coming. Well, we just saw it tonight.
That was the first thing Coach Donnelly said to me after the game.
Really?
He goes, you remember what Mike said about 3 hours ago? And I go, Hayden High was that guy tonight.
He was that guy.
And the whole game,
yeah.
we have such a great bench. We're going back. Do we have the right guys in? Do we need Noah in? Do we need Negebauer in? And we just rolled the dice there because any one of those guys could hit that shot.
Absolutely.
And so you were right. It's just you never know who's going to show up.
It wasn't me being right. It was me just having this instinct being around this game for so many darn years. And I just could feel it. It was going to be somebody. I didn't know who, but we now know it was Hayden, who happens to be golfing buddies and friends with our technical director, Braden Strain. He got so emotional, by the way. He took his headset off, was jumping up and down during the moment. I mean, this is what it's all about, Coach.
Well, what a game. I mean, were we down 3 with 30, 40 seconds left? I don't even know.
Yep, that three-point
Ashton
play
has
was
a
huge.
huge play, and then kind of scrambling there. We were looking to get it into Buzzy's hands, and they did the right thing. They were going to make sure he didn't take the last shot, and all of a sudden Hayden's right there saying, "I got this." So.
Yeah, and Hayden absolutely faked out his defender. I mean, his defender like just about collapsed. I think just as much, maybe in astonishment as anything else, that Hayden was that cool under the moment and pressure that he like made a basketball move and then made the shot.
Yep, and I tell you what, hats off to Lennox. How about that play they ran at the end? We thought we thought it was Gertis all the way, and we looked up, and all of a sudden it was that little flare pass. And that was a beautiful set. So very blessed and lucky that didn't go in because he got a good look.
Well, right, and that had to have been the longest 4 seconds in South Dakota history. I mean, that felt like 8 seconds, but the shot hit the front of the rim. And let's go ahead and, hey, Braden, we got Hayden taking a cut of the net there. And Hayden gets to take the first cut. I'd say that seems appropriate.
Yep.
Let's talk about this, Coach. In the game of hockey, guys get bloody noses all the time. They wind up in the penalty box, and teams have to do what's called a penalty kill because they're playing shorthanded. Well, you had a triple penalty kill tonight. Broden Sales fouls out with over 2 minutes to go in regulation, and you missed both Baron Slusarski and Ashton Paulson for portions of the second half and overtime due to bloody noses. I mean, I sure hope Kristen Whitley gets to cut some of the net down tonight too.
I think we're going to have the Blue Barons' mother, Lindsay Slusarski, cut the net down because she gave about 13 stitches in the locker room during the game.
Wow, Lindsay Slusarski,
she came in after the game and she goes, "I'm sorry, your locker room looks like a bloodbath in there." She was patching kids up and getting them back in. So.
Well, thank you, Lindsay. I tell you, that is the job of a basketball mom right there and a basketball wife. Man, I'll tell you what, it took everybody tonight. You have a special group of young men. And, Coach, I know I've said it before, but talk about maybe in a moment in a game like this, what's it mean to have a bunch of these guys that won a state title before, including the game-winning shooter tonight, Hayden High, a state golf title. When you can get to the top, getting higher on that ladder, literally and figuratively, seems a lot more doable.
It does, and having those football champs like Max and them, those timeouts were pretty intense, even in the end of the fourth quarter and in overtime. And I think I was a little bit more nervous and ramped up than the boys because Max and all those guys, even with Broden fouled out, they couldn't have been more calm, cool, and collective. And having those guys there that have been in those stressful situations kind of got us through that because Buzzy and them and Ashton, they didn't look nervous or at all. They just knew what they were going to do, and they went and did it. So hats off to them, and couldn't be more proud.
Coach, first year as a head coach, to see a trip to state happen, it's got to feel really good. And I bet it doesn't just sink in right away.
Yeah, I think my heart slowed down enough to realize we get to play. Hopefully, we will play 3 more games for sure.
Yep.
But yeah, after missing the state tournament the last couple years and getting back for especially a big group of, having this many seniors on the team that have been around for such a long time with us, that's what it means to me, is just seeing how happy they are and how they get to have a few more games.
Coach, they're looking up here. They want you to cut the net. You have a job to do.
All right, thank you. We'll see you in a bit.
We'll see you in a little bit. That's head coach Tony Young. The Cavs are going to state, baby. The Cavs are going to the state tournament. And we are playing in our hometown of Rapid City, South Dakota. Well, here's the situation, ladies and gentlemen. We have what's called a single camera setup license request. I'm sure it's going to be granted because we had our football and volleyball state championship game and tournament requests. Let's get Coach Young as he cuts his piece of nylon on the net right there. And I think he's going to finish it. And he should. Coach Young, baby. State tournament bound. Yeah. The Cavs are headed to state. What a great man, a great leader. What a Christian Catholic gentleman, Coach Tony Young. We love you, Coach Young. Man, what a win. What a moment. The Cavs are going to state, and all of you Cavs fans in Rapid City, you get to watch your team play for 3 days. And, we'll have to find out who we play. There's a real possibility The first game will be against our good friend Dave Howenbeck, an undefeated #1 ranked West Central. But if there are any upsets tonight in the first couple of higher seeded games, then that would change the bracketing, and Cavs might be up against Sioux Falls Christian or another team perhaps. But the Cavs are just, oh man, this feels so good. State tournament bound, and Coach Tony Young and the Cavs 17-5. They played a brutal non-conference schedule. They came in hot after winning a football state title, a lot of these guys, and they were without Broden Sales down the stretch tonight. You heard Lindsay Slusarski patched up our guys with the bloody noses. That would be Ashton Paulson and the Blue Baron Slusarski. And then on top of that, we were just shorthanded against one of the best teams in South Dakota, the Lennox Orioles. And the Cavs, who led most of this game, had to come back after trailing 55-52 and to find a way to win, and they did it. 57-55, St. Thomas More wins by 2 points. We give our praise, our glory to our Lord and Savior Jesus. We thank you so much, Lord, for blessing us with this experience, and what an amazing group of young men this group is. And some of these seniors, some of these players, they were on the football state championship team, the first in school history. And now here in Winter, which is a legendary football town, the Cavaliers celebrate a trip to the state tournament. And how about coaches Bill Whitney, Mitch Slusarski, Scott Donnelly, and Craig Bloom? Those four great coaches, they have been there with Coach Young. A lot of them have been through the fire many times with the greatest coach in South Dakota high school history, Coach Dave Howenbeck. And for St. Thomas More, right now, we feel like we're on top of the world. We may be at the bottom of the seedings when the state tournament bracket gets announced later tonight, but we feel like we're on top of the world right now as number 10 seed St. Thomas More pulls out a dramatic, and I mean heroic, 57-55 victory. Hayden High, our technical director Braden Strain's teammate and golf partner, hits a game-winning bucket with 2 seconds to play, I guess 4 seconds to play, and the final shot for Lennox bounces off the front of the rim, and St. Thomas More, Hayden High gets a huge hug from Coach Young, celebrates, and this is why basketball and March fit so perfectly together. There's nothing quite like moments, and this game we call basketball delivers moments in a way that is truly magical, truly special. And for St. Thomas More to experience this moment where Hayden High, who didn't see a lot of playing time when the year began, but just kept working hard. He had a really good game against Rapid City Christian, you might remember, including an incredible bank shot in the second half to beat the Comets. And, you know, it has just been, it's been a heck of a ride, and it's not over yet. Cavaliers will play on their home floor with quote-unquote house money as a lower seed, looking to take home their 5th state championship in Coach Tony Young's first season at the helm. And I wouldn't trade these guys. I'll tell you what, these players, these coaches, I believe, and you should believe too, And there is truly the heart of a champion with these football state champions and now basketball players who have taken a step, actually taken 2 steps more than the Cavaliers have taken the last 2 years in boys Class A basketball. The Cavs are going to state. They are headed to the state tournament. And we are just going to take it all in. The Cavs cut down the net on the north side of the floor. I don't think they're going to cut down the second net. Broden Sales heads towards the locker room with his piece of the net. Broden, thankfully, did not play his final game. He fouled out with 2.5 minutes to go and literally saw his dream and his hopes of playing more basketball as a senior flash before his eyes from the bench, which is never a good place to be in that situation. And Hayden High put his name next to Ryan Wojcik as the most recent Cavalier and the second in the history, 6-year history of the Security First Bank Cavalier Sports Network to hit a game-winning shot in the final 10 seconds to lift the Cavaliers to a state tournament. Well, this is what dreams are all about. This is what dreams are made of. And tonight, our St. Thomas More Cavalier basketball dreams have come true. For our technical director, Braden Strain, in his final basketball broadcast in his tremendous pioneering career. Thank you so much, Braden. And for Regan Dewar, our future technical director and our great camera operator, on behalf of everyone associated with helping make it possible, including our great friend, Dr. Julie Tipton, our superintendent, Tracy Stamper, Sabrina Roush, everybody involved in this process, Robert Satter, everybody involved to have us bring you a game with instant replay for the first time ever with state-of-the-art equipment that we'll be able to use for many years to come. This is Mike Fell saying thanks for spending your Tuesday evening with us. Our final score tonight from Winter, South Dakota, St. Thomas More 57, Lennox 55. Your St. Thomas More Cavaliers are going to state. The Cavs are state tournament bound, and we expect to talk to you next Thursday here on the Security First Bank Cavalier Sports Network, coming to you live from the Summit Arena in Rapid City at the Monument. Good night from Winter, South Dakota.